everyone out there, all you beautiful beings. Welcome to the second episode of the Love-A-Lution Podcast.
Hey, beautiful spirits out there. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, we're super stoked and excited to have Will, the chill Keller, will tell the truth. Yeah, so our brother over on the west side, and we're excited. An amazing Love-A-Lution-Ary. Why we're having you on the show, Will? Because you exemplify those Love-A-Lution-Ary characteristics, brother, of taking action, conscious decision making, knowing right from wrong, and going on that inner journey to that self evolution and consciousness towards self-love, knowing thyself to love thyself. And yeah, we love you, brother. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Well, I appreciate you all. Thanks for having me on. This is the first interview that I've done where a whole family is on the interview. This is a beautiful thing. I love it. Awesome. I love what you guys are doing and represent, and I'm grateful to be on here. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, we love you. You got the dog right there. What's his name or her name?
Pocket. It's a boy. My lap dog. He's always got to be on my lap. He's so funny.
That's so cool. Yeah, we got 2 cats, brothers and sisters. So we love the cats and all animals, of course.
Yep. Yeah. Same with me. I was born and raised on a ranch. Wow. So animals were all around me at all times. I loved it. So that's same beautiful. With my daughter.
Awesome. Yeah. So wow, that was like the first question we were going into. What kind of pets do you have right now at the moment? We have lifestyle questions. We got, certain different questions. We'll just bounce around wherever. Morality, of course, too. Go ahead, love.
No, I was just talking to him.
Okay. Yeah, and parenting never stops. You know that, brother. So we're always look.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what other pets do you have besides your sweet dog there?
Yeah, so currently I just have my 2 dogs. One is a Chiweenie, right? So Chihuahua Dachshund, and the other one is a mixed terrier. We adopted both of them.
Oh, great.
And yep, they're my current companions. My daughter has a hamster as well that we adopted from a small baby. So yeah, we're really big on adopting pets.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I grew up with horses. I mean, chickens, cats. My parents still live on the ranch. They got 15 cats that they've all adopted. People just dump their cats on the side of the road. They take them in, nurse them back to health. And so yeah, I've been around a lot of animals. So I'm a big animal fanatic. I love the companionship and the harmony that we can be with animals as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So right now, if I had more property, I would have a whole farm if I had it my way. Goats, chickens, it's all of them.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, they're amazing. Working with them. So yeah, we're just wondering what are you a night owl or a day bird?
Oh wow. I'm a day bird now.
Yeah.
Probably about 15 years ago, I was a straight night owl, but I was living a different life back then.
Yeah.
I try to wake up with the sun and wind down and then, go to bed at a decent time. I'm usually, sleeping the latest by like 10. But yet, when you're doing the work and video editing and this kind of stuff, this can take you into the wee hours of the night for sure.
Yes.
So yeah, I love when I'm camping, I'm out in nature, that can differ. I can be up way late by the fire.
Yeah,
totally. Conversation.
Wow, that's great. Yeah.
That's like us. We go to bed with the sun pretty much.
Yeah. So we see the first sunrise kind of coming up on the east, right over Canada. And unreal. You ever want to come this way, brother, you're welcome. We're gonna have a Camp Love-A-Lution conference, coming in the works on the back burner. So
sweet. Yeah. It's definitely on my list. I want to kind of like take a road trip and go meet up with people like yourself, like-minded individuals, and stay for a day or two, maybe do a video, but just kind of take an adventure and explore and meet live in the flesh with people and have that connection. That's definitely moving up on my list. So yeah, I might take your offer up on that.
We'd
might
love
see me
to
out
have
there.
you, brother. We would love to have you. And Dan Arnold, our buddy, he's coming out. Big Dan,
Sweet.
spiritual
I love
anarchist.
Dan.
Yeah, so we'll be. He's going to teach us a lot about self-defense and weaponry and whatnot, and we're just going to enjoy and exchange knowledge and in nature. So, yeah, you're always welcome, brother.
Beautiful.
Anytime.
Cool. Excellent.
That's the next exciting question.
Oh yeah. So, what's a typical day for you, brother? What's a day in the life of Will?
Yeah,
Right
so
now.
I stick to my morning ritual, which is I try to get up with the sun. I get outside, take the dogs out, take some breaths, do a little veneration to the sun, to life, some gratitude, some deep breathing, and some stretching, and then move right over to tea. I like to warm up my brain with reading. So not jump on like social media and get on the computer early, try to ease into it. Of course, that's always an ebb and flow, right? So, I mean, I use social media for just promotion as much as possible. So scrolling, I got that pretty much managed to the best of my ability currently. So my morning ritual is solid. I like to start my days like that. Get a little exercise, go on a walk. If my daughter's here, go on a hike. We got some trails real close to my house. So that's really nice. And then get at it. Yeah, I do construction. I'm an independent contractor, so I hang window coverings. So I'm the blind man, right? It's kind of ironic, the blind man, and yet speaking truth to people and help people to try to illuminate knowledge into their life. But I was raised in that family business of construction. So having an understanding of life skills, I went to junior college. I didn't know what I wanted to do in that realm, what I was going to get a degree in or anything like that. But my dad and my mom raised me with handyman, construction, build something. If you want to do something, learn how to do it. So really rock solid on these principles that are kind of rooted in the real world. And I live by that pretty much, right? I mean, every couple months I like to learn something new, whether it's, composting, advancing my gardening skills, electrician. I'm currently doing some, learning how to wire low voltage and high voltage. I'm curious in that. And these are life skills that I can apply in reality. So that's my day, go to work, come home, hang out with the daughter, and then do some interviews, do some video editing. So it goes up and down. I'm very much a Piscean, where time to me is kind of on a funny schedule, right? It's like I'm never early or late. A wizard is always on time, right? Yeah. But on his time type of deal.
Yeah.
So I go with the flow. I don't set long-term plans. I set long-term goals where I want to be in life at this point. But, what I'm doing tomorrow, I'll figure that out tomorrow morning. So.
Nice. Yes.
Same with us. Yeah.
Yeah. Staying present, but not regretting.
Absolutely.
Not regretting the past, not too worried of the future.
Having those goals.
Yeah.
Where we
Exactly.
That was just some of my notes. Sorry. All right.
Sweetheart, 1 second, please.
So, all right. Hypothetical, Will, if someone gave you $1 million, what would you do with it?
Oh, wow. $1 million. I would put it to good use.
We know.
To be honest, I would definitely increase my technical operation, like form a team.
Yeah.
And buy some land.
Awesome.
Start a community. I mean, $1 million probably doesn't go that far anymore. I'm in California.
Yeah.
So,
Well, out here,
but yeah, I would
excuse me.
get some property. Oh, no worries.
Magical seats here.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Definitely
get some property, start a community.
Yeah. Awesome, brother. Great answer.
Build a farm stand, increase the technical skills, get like a studio. And yeah, and help my family. I mean, ultimately my type of community would be with like-minded individuals.
Oh, yeah,
bring my family on board as well. And so yeah, that's what I would do with $1 million. Probably give Mark Passio a good chunk so he can get his full operation on the works.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. We discovered Mark together in 2017, right after David Icke and Max Egan, and
we'd give him a bunch too.
Blown away with the information and the presentations and the time and the arc too. So thankful. That's his education. So a big shout out to Mark and all the true speakers and that have inspired us. Jordan Maxwell, Tessarian, all of them.
Yeah.
All great minds. Yeah, working somewhat close with Mark for the last several years, what that man says as far as his personal life, I mean, it is true. He is pretty much a one-man operation. I mean, I might help out with some graphics. He's got other people that kind of help out, but he runs his whole thing by himself. Yeah. And so yeah, I would give a chunk to him to build his team and give him the resources for him to step into that full creative potential and raise that voice up. And, honestly, I would give chunks of money to other content creators. I used to be, a few years ago, I used to be very anti-money, like fiat, I understand what it is. I understand the sigils, what it represents and all this kind of stuff. But we live in this matrix, right? Even Neo in the allegory goes into the matrix to create change. We need these resources. So finding that balance and understanding that what it really represents is time and attention, the real spiritual currency. So there's all these content creators that are doing great work, with the message of truth and freedom, and struggle. It can be a battle, trying to provide for yourself and your family, and also find the time and the resources to do the tech and all this kind of stuff. This is why it's the one great work, right? It's definitely a battle, but it's the right thing to do. Yes. So, when I get, some extra resources, I try to shoot content creators $50, a little bit of cash here.
Absolutely.
Show them my appreciation.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. Just we got to come together and also in consciousness, that love vibration, and in resources, helping one another, supporting one another. Absolutely. Yeah, great point with that.
Yeah. There's so much division, right? I mean, somebody hears something that they don't agree with by a content creator, and they immediately throw all of their other work out the window.
Yes.
Right. I mean, it's and that's prevalent, and that's creating division. Yet most of those people, $15 a day on Starbucks or whatever, like, we all have our vices, but helping each other in this endeavor of raising consciousness, it needs to be supported more. And I think we all could do a better effort on doing that, supporting each other.
Yes. Yeah. We've heard the affirmation, everyone's bank account, our bank account's everyone's bank account, right? We're all just like in and out flow, trying to share knowledge, just like that energy we know. It helps us, like lube, it helps us get by easier. And
my dog took off.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah, there's a Rosicrucian saying, it's no amount of gold for gold, and it's no amount of gold lowercase g for gold uppercase G, right? And in occult works, when you when there's lowercase and uppercase, it's talking about a macro versus micro sense. So what it's saying, hold on one second, guys.
Anyway, everyone, we appreciate your listening.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
Had
no
someone
problem.
at the door, the neighbor. Yeah, so no amount of gold for gold. And what this means is no amount of earthly resources for knowledge, the gold of the soul, right? This is what the Rosicrucian saying is.
Yes.
So it's good to understand that this is what we take with us when we die and we cross over. We take knowledge and our wisdom and our experience.
Absolutely.
So striking that balance, right? Striking that balance of understanding, using money as a tool in this reality field, not letting it rule you or control you, but using it as a tool.
Yes. So I have a big question. What would you say to the youth today, brother? And just how, the obfuscation and the manipulation, the propaganda, they have it heavy, and they've never not known this, digital heroin, the black mirror everyone's addicted to, and the suicide rates are ridiculous. What would you say to these youth that are really, down on a low frequency of fear and confusion?
Great, important question. That's a good one. I will say parents need to get involved, and there is that divide from teenagers and parents is really detrimental. Because especially the teenagers nowadays, they feel like they can't relate to their parents. I have a preteen now, but our relationship is solid. My daughter and I, we're best friends. So we have that communication. And I think that is really what's lacking with the youth and the parental dynamics. What's up, bud?
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, for sure. So the first step is obviously parents coming into awareness, but having knowledge, information of what's really going on is only one piece of the puzzle. Understanding that you don't own your children, looking at your children as equals, right? I mean, that it's just another being. Communicate. I was telling my daughter, I was saying that she's got a friend where her mom talks down to her, right? All the time. And so Violet, it initiated a conversation with Violet and I was saying, I talk to you the same way I talk to Mama and Papa, her grandparents. I talk to my best friend. I talk to even a stranger, right? I mean, there's that respect that comes, and communication. So I see my daughter and I as equals when we communicate. The teenagers nowadays, they not only do they have that trauma of not relating with their parents and not being heard, that makes them look for that elsewhere, right? To the external forces, social media, government institutions, culture, all these ideologies that get them. Here's someone that gets me now, a like-minded person that's on my vibe. And this is dangerous, right? I mean, it all depends on what the context is. But if parents can't communicate with their children, then, the damage is done. And that takes a lot of time and attention and sacrifice to get out of that hole. It's a lot of negative knowledge, and you got to really put some effort into it. So my message for the youth would be, if they're listening on TikTok, if this goes on TikTok, it would be, listen to your parents as well. Sit down. I think teenagers, when you're a teenager, you're becoming into adulthood. So as you get older, guess what? Your free will and your responsibility increases as well. Same thing with the stewardship of parents. as child age increase and free will increase, the capacity, then the stewardship of parents starts to it's a gradient, starts to go down, meaning your kid is growing up and the reins are being pulled back. So you have to recognize this balance where they're becoming into their own now, and it's time to shift. I'm a firm believer on parents need to listen when their children tell them who they are. And I think this is a problem. Kids are starting to grow into themselves. They're discovering themselves and they're expressing that. And parents are, they're ignorant. They ignore it. They're ignorant to the growing process of their children. So they talk down to them. Let me tell you how it is. No, you got to do it like this, et cetera, et cetera. You have to be like this. And then that wall goes up. So even for teenagers, right? Sit down with your parents and try and communicate and start and work on that relationship. I think a lot of teenagers throw the towel in super quick. But as far as what's going on in reality, you have to listen to your heart. Listen to your heart and learn how to think, right? Don't even if a teenager's watching this interview or any of my work, don't believe me. Take into consideration what I'm talking about and begin that path of truth discovery on any type of information, right? I'm learning, how to become an electrician right now. I just don't listen to some guy, oh, just do it like this. Okay, I'll take that into consideration, but I'm gonna use some logical application and increase my knowledge on that particular topic, right?
Yeah.
So
the analogy. Yeah. There was the analogy of would you go flying with someone who believes they can fly a plane, or would you go with someone who knows how to fly a plane, right? And
exactly.
knowing is that heart space, that the youth needs to realize and to learn that amazing word, the no, saying no, that universal, most powerful word there is to turn their power on,
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. There's a huge emphasis, especially in the truth and freedom movement, of critical thinking. And yes, that is extremely important, but you cannot leave out the other half, which is the care and the heart space, that feeling that you get, that voice. We call it a voice. It's a feeling. We can feel this energy, and it's a muscle, just like the heart is a muscle. It's a pump, right? You can actually you can work on that, and you can listen to that voice and build that strength up. So, whenever we come into a situation, we have the initial feeling or thought. That's our conscious, right? The knowledge that we are experiencing within ourselves. But that voice can get louder, and we can hear that more as we listen to it and potentially act on it. Because again, even that voice is just knowledge and information, right? That depends a lot on our programming and conditioning. So we need to take it in as information and unite both of them, right? The heart space and the mind, and of course the body, the actions as well.
Oh, great answer.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking yesterday, working with the earth, about how they have they control our bodies through our minds. So like with like precision, just like sorcerers playing chess, or chess masters, we're just like babies in our car seats that don't even know we're getting. Yeah. Anyway, you know the point.
Absolutely, for sure. It's the trifecta. It's the Trinity: mind, heart, and body. It's like it. We talk about these as they're separate, but it's all one thing. It all operates in symbiosis. So, it's really important. We look at like the New Age, right, where they say stuff like it's all about emotion, or everyone is a projection of yourself. which is total BS, right? There are some people that are narcissists, that are liars directly, right? It's not something that you're seeing, you know, from yourself through someone else. So there's all these paradoxes, and ultimately these paradoxes can be reconciled once we get to that foundation of understanding how nature works. Lately, there's been a big push. I've seen this about reality itself, right? The objective and subjective aspects of reality. And even that alone is a great place to start with taking in knowledge, right? The nature of reality. And absolutely, we can look at it as both ultimately, right? We are having a subjective experience. We have our perception that is subjective. It's unique to each and every single one of us. But we are living in an objective reality, meaning reality operates a certain way. And then that's where the conversation gets deeper into natural law, the laws of nature. People that, my neighbor's mowing, people that battle that, yeah, you know, they're in this relativistic mindset, right? It's like we know here that a man and a woman create the vessel of a new soul, period. That's objective. All human beings breathe oxygen and are water and need substance. That's objective, right? So it's not about human beings agreeing upon if the sun exists. It exists. We can come to know this and understand this, right? So it's all context. I guess this is the point of my rant right here. We need to, instead of just spewing out statements, we need to dive into the context and elaborate and dissect what we mean. You know, this is why I try to define a lot of terms, really important. So we can filter out people's, you know, mentally perceived definitions and what they think you are saying. When you say freedom, you know, someone goes, oh yeah, I know what freedom is, but do you? Let's have a conversation about it. Let's talk about it. Yes. Right? So it's really getting back down to these fundamentals. That's why I try to, in my, you know, my style, I try to keep it simple and plain.
Yeah, brother.
And straightforward. So we can flush these out.
We appreciate that, the simpleness of your delivery and just, you know, calm, emotionless. And this is, you know, these are objective truths you can align with. Your perception is outside that objective morality. And we think, yeah, we know. The ego thinks it knows everything, right? And
that's right.
Yeah, so yeah, we love you know, the freedom one you did was amazing, and all your work. Yeah, we appreciate you, brother. And wanted to ask you about,
that means a lot.
Yeah, did you grow up with organized religion or really pushed down your throat, or going to church every Sunday?
I never been to church. I mean, the only time I've been in a church is like for a funeral or celebration of life. But no, religion was not big in my household growing up. My dad was raised Catholic. My birth mom was Christian, and she was pretty much Christian just to herself, not really like, she did go to church once in a while, but I was pretty much raised with my stepmom and my dad, but got reconnected with my birth mom later on in life, which was great. So in my household, no, there wasn't religion whatsoever. Although I will say, I'll do a negative and a positive. My dad still had some of this programming from his childhood, and he would do something like this when we were young. When he wanted us to, let's say we broke a window, right? Who did it? He would say. And, you know, my brother and I are like, you know, we're lying. We don't want to confess that one of us broke the window or we both did. He would do something like, okay, put your hand on your heart, put your 2 fingers up in the air, and then swear to God that you didn't do it. And he told us that this was a direct connection to God. Right. And so this is like soft mind control. It is mind control is what he's doing. He's trying to get us to confess. And And so he would do something like that. And, you know, talking with him later on in life, this is something that his dad and mom did to him. So this was kind of this generational programming that he brought into our childhood. But he was, my family was never big into religion, didn't go to church whatsoever, very nature orientated. Both my parents were raised on farms. My stepmom came from Arkansas, my dad Montana, and my birth mom Iowa. So, you know, being raised on a ranch, God, even to them when I was young, was nature. That's what God was. So it wasn't the Catholic or the Christian God, a being sitting up in the clouds and stuff like that. So it wasn't this human being. So God was everywhere, present in everything, in nature. And nature was the example, which later on in life I appreciate, right? I am an animist, a pagan animist, right? Nature is God to me, right? It is the effect of God, the energy that runs through everything, right? Is creator, create, no separation from creator and creation. So it's all one thing. So yeah, it was good. That was my childhood. But it's interesting, and I think this is a process that a lot of people can do, right? Look back and think about your childhood and certain things that were done to you or that you did through your childhood that you may be doing to your kids as well. So that's a really good process to do.
Yes.
Yeah, we do that a lot. We're like, we don't want to continue that programming, you know? So
yeah, so we
and that was
we know about.
No, I was just gonna say. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, brother. Oh,
I was just gonna say the best piece of advice my dad gave me when my daughter's mother was pregnant with her was he said, "This is the best advice I can give you, Will. You look back on your childhood and you do better than I did." And it was very impactful and very deep for my dad. Like, oh man, that's deep, Dad, because that's what it's all about, right? We're creating this process of evolution in the family dynamic, where my daughter's awareness should surpass my awareness when she's of age. Like we want to, give them the gift of knowledge and the tool sets to discover truth within themselves and in reality, and then go further, keep going. So
yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's great. We appreciate that. And likewise, teaching, I was very programmed with the Catholics, and the youngest of 7 boys and 2 parents. So I had like 8 parents, coaches, teachers, priests. Holy cow. So that built up the rebel spirit and the anarchist that just wanted no one to. I couldn't accept authority very well at all, and still can't.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
Never. Yes, no. Exactly.
Yeah.
And they
well, here's kind of the effect of sorry to interrupt.
Oh no. Go ahead.
The effect of kind of having, my parents, and we're all close to nature, and, nature is God, is creation. It also, my family understood that government wasn't good. My dad always told me and my friends, what do you do when a police officer pulls you over? And everyone's like, run. Yeah, that's right. So a lot of people in my family did not like cops, the police, and some uncles and stuff were in the military, but they understand that there's that false authority there. Yeah. So, my parents didn't vote or anything like that. They're not fully out of that mindset, but they definitely, even when I was young, they understood that there was this false authority there, and that was expressed in my childhood as well. So that's kind of where, that's where I get that from. Someone asked me how long you've been an anarchist, and it's like, well, shit, excuse me. I've been an anarchist my whole life.
Yeah.
So, looking back on it, there was always that realization there.
Awesome. Yeah. And this goes into you ever spent a night in jail or ever been arrested?
Yep.
Yeah, we have too.
Yep.
Yep.
I think, yeah, it's an
Yeah,
experience.
a couple times.
I think it teaches us, a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's yeah, the couple time I've been, let's see, I had 2 experiences. My first experience, I was 18, and I was, starting my music career, being a rapper, and I was having an album release party, and I knew a lot of diverse people from different areas, from the rough areas to the rich areas, and that was kind of like my energy that people knew me as. I'm bringing all these people together for music and to have a good time.
That's
So I
great.
had this album release party in this town of Dublin, right, which is kind of a suburban place, and I rented out a nice hall. Everyone got along; it was great, but the cops did not like what I was doing. They didn't like to see all these different mixtures of people, of races coming together under one umbrella. So they pretty much they violated me. They took me out back. They bullied me. They threw me around. They were playing country music in the cop car. Like, how do you like this? Right? You want to be black? They're like saying all this stuff, and they're playing country music. I'm like, dude, I'm singing the lyrics because I was raised on country music and all this stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, and they took me to jail, and they chained me up in the jail cell as well. So there was this torture kind of going on, right? And it was very demoralizing and degrading, and it was an eye opener for sure. So hell of an experience.
Yep. The cop that arrested me was listening to gangster rap, but the worst rap you've ever heard. It was so bad.
Like what?
And the cuffs were so tight, and he was treating me so bad. And I thought, wow, that's terrible. Terrible treatment of another human being.
Yeah, it's unreal
Yeah,
that we lock
absolutely.
each other in cages and call ourselves good people.
Aw.
Oh, there's a doggy.
Is your daughter with you?
Daddy time. Yeah, she's here. She's
Hey.
playing around at the house.
Awesome.
You want to say
Awesome.
hi, Violet? She's like,
Oh, yeah.
Violet, tell her we said hey.
Yeah, hey, it's a family show, so we love all
Yep.
beings, of course.
Yep. No worries.
you can come say hi.
Yes,
It's a family show. They say hi.
Oh, yes, yes.
She's
Yeah.
playing with her
You can ask
Legos.
him that one.
Yeah, Will, when did you discover Passio's info or natural law? And when did you go on that truth discovery, really,
Yeah, no, great question. So I would say my journey officially started when and becoming a father, and it kind of took me towards the new age realm, right? Consciousness, energy. So I was always kind of doing research. I've always been a curious person, but it wasn't until I was in a toxic relationship, coming out of my music career, and drug addiction, and then having that realization, like, man, how did I end up here? And it was paradigm shifting, shattering, really. So it got to a point where, I was at my rock bottom, and I was in a very bad place psychologically. So understanding and looking at myself, going deeper, how does my mind work? How do habits express? How did I get here? So really dissecting my own internal ecology and digging myself out of that hole, which I conquered. And then from there, that just the momentum generated to seek further and seek outward as well. So that's when I got into the mystery traditions and occultism, which led me to Mark Passio's work. And I came across Mark's work in 2015, and that was mind-blowing. The first video I saw was the Cult of Ultimate Evil. I believe that's what it was.
Yeah, that's a good.
And it was a good one, and I was just like, oh man, yeah, this guy's nailing it. So then I checked out more of his work, and natural law really resonated. Mainly because I was already coming across this information in other occult works, in the mystery traditions, primarily Hermeticism, Rosicrucian, Thelema, and seeing all these synchronicities and having Mark kind of package it up into a digestible synthesis of information. It was just like the ultimate connecting the dots, and then springboard forward.
That's awesome.
So that was the turning point. So my turning point was suffering, self-induced suffering. And, that's really what I think, a lot of people, we don't have to suffer. You don't have to burn your hand on the fire, to learn that it's hot and it will burn. Like we can discover that the fire is hot and it can potentially burn us. So, but suffering is absolutely a great teacher. Looking back on that time period, I'm grateful for that time period, because that was a catalyst to higher awareness, and I learned a lot about myself. So,
wow, that's great, brother. Yeah, we appreciate that curiosity. Asking questions. That's great.
Yeah, and I'm very during that time, in my dark time, nobody knew. My family members, my friends knew that I had this opiate addiction from pills, right? And it wasn't something. It was like partying. I got this and I got that, so I'm taking all this stuff and then getting careless with it, and all of a sudden now I'm addicted to this stuff. I'm having physical withdrawals, and I openly talk about that this time period in my life. It's important. I think addiction itself is important for really what's going on, and the substance really isn't the key factor. It's all about the state of mind. So you could take the opiates out of the equation, and you could take the alcohol out of the equation. It's the state of mind. There's always going to be something that you're going to band-aid or numb what is going on psychologically. So really, so nobody knowing that I'm going through this dark internal period of my life except me. I mean, for many, many months, I would look in the mirror before I would go to work, and I would say to myself, this might be the day that I die, because I was in so much inner turmoil and lacked that fire, that willpower, and most importantly, that knowledge. It was a scary, scary time for sure. And then having, just some physical issues with that, of taking that for, a year and a half. It was brutal. But yet that pain and that suffering, it was the breaking down, right? It was the alchemical nigredo stage of breaking myself down and putting the pieces back together, which I'm grateful for. And it comes down to choice. Like, I had to make that choice. This is the bottom for me, right? We can never say, oh, when I reach rock bottom, I'll start to change my ways. Rock bottom only exists after you climbed out of the hole. Then you look back and go, that's where rock bottom was. So it was a dark time period, right? And this is what we're here to do. We're here to shine light on the darkness.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's great points. And that's where that know thyself, right, comes in. You were getting to know thyself, asking questions, starting to question your habits, behaviors. Yeah, that's the true Love-A-Lution there, that personal Love-A-Lution with doing the inner work,
Yep.
Yeah. And it shouldn't stop just with ourselves. This is what I did. I kind of transmuted that energy, and then, projected it externally. Well, what's going on in the world? What's going on in reality? What's the big questions, the philosophical realm? And through that momentum, I think this is what people need to do. It starts internally.
Yes.
But yet we need to understand the external factors of what's going on in reality.
Yes. One quick question. We're kind of not wrapping up, but we have some short answer questions and some long answer.
Okay.
One thing about parenting, instilling that confidence in your child? Was your folks, oh, you can do it, son, or you can do it, son? You know, teaching that a mindset.
Yeah, my parents were very uplifting, and they did not force anything on me. My dad was, you can do it if you want to do it type of mentality, right? If you want to do something, then you will do it, right? So he was very much orientated towards choice and willpower. You know, you can accomplish your goals if you put the energy, the time, and attention towards, and that was great. I mean, my younger brother was into sports. I was into playing in the creek and, you know, playing with frogs and this kind of stuff. So like the sports wasn't forced on me until, you know, years later. Then I kind of came into the athletic department. But I would see these other kids that were playing baseball that their parents made them play baseball. And, you know, looking back on that, I mean, the effects that had on the kid were very traumatizing.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, great question. I grew up in a very competitive society, hockey, lacrosse, and for kids being forced, the parents coaching and wanting it so way more than the kids. It was very disturbing.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I had, if you want to do it, you know? So that was good.
Yeah.
I wasn't forced much at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
UFO one?
Oh yeah. So some quick answer questions, brother. We love Sasquatch. You seen Sasquatch out there ever in your experience?
I have not.
Or heard?
I have not seen.
Okay.
Well, there has been some potential sightings in Mount Shasta. Well, I used to go up to Mount Shasta a lot when I was younger with my parents for camping and stuff, and that's a very sacred area. But yeah, I have heard people, you know, talk about that realm for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Have you guys? Not now. I'm curious. Have you guys?
Well, we know he lives around here because it's rural, but it's very lot of water, a lot of small mountains, hills, and lakes to the ocean.
People around here have seen them.
Yeah,
you know,
they have. But we've heard stories and tree breaks around our property, and we were putting apples out the last year, but it was a raccoon. We finally found the raccoons getting them, and Ricky and Rosie,
Yep.
2 raccoons. But anyway,
Oh, that's cute.
yeah.
UFOs.
Yeah, we have kind of an IMAX too for the stars. You could see the Milky Way right here and unreal. So we have seen some UFOs go by and then completely disappear. Anyway, so that's
excellent.
Yeah.
I have myself.
All right, yes. Have you? Awesome, yeah. You've seen some ITs or ETs?
Definitely. I not other beings. Well, not in the sense of what we think UFOs, right? I've seen interdimensional beings. I went through, after coming out of my addiction, I was very much into astral travel and astral projection. So I did a lot of practicing and doing techniques for a good amount of time, and had some great success with that, and experienced some entities in that astral realm for sure. So yeah, but and have seen some UFOs, or you know, who knows what they were, but I definitely have seen them living on the ranch. I've seen some pretty out there stuff in the sky.
Nice. So what's your version of fun when you want to go out and have fun? You said hike or any type of activity that really you enjoy, helps raise your vibration.
I love hiking.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, gardening is my passion. That's my meditative outlet. Being out in the garden, you know, feet in the dirt, shirt off in the sun, you know. So that's definitely my passion. That's my go-to. My daughter and I love going hiking, foraging, identifying flowers and all this kind of stuff, and hanging out and talking with my daughter. You know, I like to talk deep with my daughter and ask her questions and see what she says. For me, I'm 41. That's fun to me. I love seeing my friends that I've grown up with and that kind of stuff, but I can't. It's hard. I can only do small doses of, how's this sports team doing? This very, shallow depth of conversation. I love philosophical conversation. So yeah, but fun for me is being out in nature, going to the beach, hiking, camping. So exploring, that's fun for me.
Awesome. Yeah. Wow.
We're very similar to that.
Yeah.
We love gardening and talking deep with each other and our son. We don't hide the truth from him. We share the truth, and we all speak the truth.
Yeah, that amazing your parenting, the conscious parenting presentation, just right on, brother. When we got to say, you don't have to lie, and you can ask me anything. It's just that open two-way communication is really, that hit home,
100%.
So thank you.
Fabulous. I'm glad you guys resonated with that, and you guys are in that level as well. Having that connection with your family. That's beautiful. I love hearing that.
Yeah, we say we're very controversial and confrontational because people just hate the truth. They get so uncomfortable. We're too real for TV. We say that. And it just, our friends, family, they can't really hang for too long because we're like you. We just want to go deep,
Yep, absolutely. I was kind of raised with that aspect. Growing up on a ranch, but outside of a suburb, the suburban parents, thought my parents were just way outside the box because this is the type of relationship that my dad would have, right? He would just tell the truth. He would shoot it to you straight. And, some parents did not like that, right? They wanted to, I can't tell my son that. And it's the best way to go. It's the right way to go, right? You don't lie to your kids, you shoot it to them straight. And kids don't have all that programming and conditioning. They can handle it. Yeah. They can handle a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, you said it. They can handle it. And who are we to decide for them what they can handle, They can teach them discernment, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
Nice, brother. All right. So, what kind of music are you into right now? What's in your CD player? What do you get into, brother?
Excellent. I have been listening, coming from a music career where I really listened to all types of genres. I took a break from music for like 7-8 years, and it was just audio, videos, podcasts, and mainly audiobooks, like just taking in a large amount of audiobooks. And then I realized, fairly recently, just months ago, like, man, music was such a big part of my life. I need to integrate music back into my life. So I listened to a lot of, and it might sound interesting, so like RPG soundtracks. So it's like fantasy type music, right? Nature sounds and this kind of stuff. And they might they'll throw a beat behind it. So it's like soundscapes or something like that. Yeah. Very, very much into that genre. I love reggae, hip hop. I've fell out of love just because you got to have a good message. It's got to be a good song. And I think a lot of the music from that genre is just crap. If I'm listening to country, it's going to be 90s gold. It's got to be 90s gold. So, and like Halung, which is, a group from Sweden, which is kind of a pagan type of genre. So some folk. So yeah, I got a wide spectrum.
Awesome.
Nice. So what would you
if I'm not listening to my own singing, right? I mean, then I'll listen to someone else.
Nice, brother. Yeah. Well, what would you say to the psychopath, ruler, pedophiles right now if they're listening?
Yeah. What would I say to them?
Yeah. What would you tell those scared?
Well, I would say your time is limited. I mean, there's really nothing I'm gonna say to get them to change their ways. But the message is not under my watch, right? I mean, as a parent, we need to kind of war game in our minds, right? And this can be scary for a lot of parents. But war game, imagining bad scenarios, and what would you do? If we war game and use that imagination in our mind, then if something happens, then we have already kind of processed it in our mind, our reaction and how we would respond to that, and then we can act. But someone that's into that type of that realm, pedophilia, there's only the dirt for you. And I mean, certain people deserve death, right? Deserve not to be in this reality, this shared reality. So when someone is, a primary psychopath or secondary psychopath, and how they're shaping it nowadays, that it's just a sexual preference, right? These people are mentally disturbed and detached, disassociated from reality. So once those rights have been violated, there are repercussions, and absolutely we can intervene in those consequences whatsoever. So I'm very much big on the self-defense principle. So even imagining someone trying to, advance even on my 10-year-old daughter, right? There will be repercussions. I mean, it's nothing I would not, I wouldn't consider alternatives. Like, I know what I would do. I would act on that. And so being big on the self-defense principle, right? It's good for, parents to try to motivate and inspire our kids to engage in this type of thought process. Like my daughter's, she's 10, almost 10. And we've had role-playing scenarios of, what do you do when someone grabs you? Like, show me what you're going to do, right? What do you do if someone tries to throw a punch at you? Or, all these type of scenarios. So promoting self-defense is something that parents need to do. And, just look at, the ideologies that are out now where self-defense is frowned upon, right? It's not about protecting yourself. You go tell an authority, but the damage is already done. So absolutely. Being grounded in this truth of self-defense.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, brother. Well, we're going to wrap it up.
Thank you so much, Will.
We just loved getting to know you, meeting you, and we'll love to have you back on another time and, go in depth in some of these topics we discussed.
Excellent. Anytime. It was a pleasure talking to both of you. Thanks for having me on, and great job on the Love-A-Lution Podcast.
Awesome.
Thanks, brother.
You.
Keep loving yourself. We love you. And big Love-A-Lution out to the west side where you are, and all those beings out there.
We'll put your links in the description, Will, so everybody can find Will's work. And thank you so much for tuning in. We love each and every one of you.
Yes, keep uniting in that love vibration. Let go of the fear. We love you. Peace out. Love-A-Lution. Love you all. Peace.